Hello and welcome to Light Up, a channel where you get to hear about thoughts of how we can engage our young children, our young people, the youth, and make them more productive and help them to pick skills that can help them to be resilient. So on this channel, usually we talk about simple things that we can do, simple actions that we can take. We build engagements where you can take a thought and discuss with your peers, your fellow parents, so that you really kind of contextualize some of the issues that we talk about. If you feel they are overgeneralized, but you really want to build a context, or you want to kind of pick more information and an understanding from other parents in terms of perceptions regarding a particular issue. Today, we are going to talk about something that I think we can really use as an opportunity to do more engagement with young people, but one that also helps them to be beneficiaries at the end of the day, and they begin activating and harnessing skills, which is very important. So we talk about child vocations, child activities that can help us to build skills. And let me really build a very simple context here to tell a very simple story and then be able to deliver the point. If today I asked you to take a young person here in Uganda or here in Africa or in East Africa, that maybe it would be nice during holidays for you to take your child to pottery lessons, where they just work with clay, they make cups, they make pots, take them there. Let them go and really see how they throw clay on a wheel, see how they build shapes, how you can mold a pot from a lump of clay, this and that and the other. And I say this because I've watched several videos of throwing clay and pottery, and it's quite fascinating. That's why now I can speak as if I've thrown clay on a wheel, but I haven't. But it's something that I would really love to do, even as an adult. And I think from my point of view and where I see it, it can be a good, relaxing, meditative exercise. That's the benefit I would see out of it. But for a young person, if I seriously told you that take your child to a pottery class during holiday, what's the first thing that would come to you? Would you really feel that this is something where your child, you feel they're going to do something, they're going to learn something that is going to help them, you know? What if I asked you that take your child to a music school, a school of DJs, where they play around with discs and they mix songs and they do this and the other? What would come to your mind? What if I told you take your child to a fashion school during this holiday? Yeah, so many vocations, and we'll come back to those later. But now I try to build the story by telling you this story. As I was watching these videos of people throwing clay on wheels, I landed on a video about a very successful gentleman who started making plates out of clay. And I think he started somewhere in New York. And when I was listening to this gentleman's story who was covered, I realized very quickly that what started out as something that he did out of passion quickly turned into a day-to-day job. And very quickly, once he got his first break and people bought his plates and then other people came in, and it kind of evolved from there. Now, when you go to high-end restaurants and out there, abroad, I'm not even going to speak here in Uganda. In Uganda, we have like high-end restaurants, we have high-end hotels. You look at a certain kind of high-end service, you know. So when you go to such restaurants or such hotels, the food is served in courses. You'll have like a 4 or 5 or 6 course meal and the like in hotels. And when you go to restaurants, I mean, the meals are served once, but they command a certain price. I would say a high price. And I think when you try to ask why food is that expensive, when you go to these normal restaurants, food is relatively cheap, they'll talk of a service. they'll talk of the ambience, they'll talk of so many things. And coming back to this story about this gentleman who makes high-end plates, he really honed in his craft, and he managed to kind of make high quality products. And out there abroad, high-end restaurants or high-end hotels are given what we call a standardization. So you'll hear of 1 star or 1 Michelin star restaurant, 2 Michelin star restaurants. Now if you go to a 3 Michelin star restaurant, yeah, the food there is really going to cost you an arm and a leg by our standards. We are talking thousands of dollars people pay, or hundreds of euros, like 700 euros per sitting per person. So that's really a lot of money. But these people, when they're serving the food and the like, they all run to this gentleman because the plates he makes are really that high end. They are quality, you know. And every chef who works in such restaurants, they would love to collaborate with him so that he can supply them the kitchenware, so to say, or the plates, the bowls, the ceramics. That's what he does. And this started as a pottery hobby, or something that he did and then crafted and honed in as a skill. Now, when I talk about vocations and us exposing young people or our children to vocations, it goes beyond that which they are doing in that particular moment. Think of your child if they are on a clay wheel, if they are molding a pot, if they are doing something with that clay. Of course, it's going to be messy at the start, okay? But it's also going to be fun. It's going to be engaging, and they'll have to concentrate while doing something if they want to do something that's really worth showing to their parents or to their tutors or instructors. And I think when we talk about vocations here, we could talk about so many things. I remember when I was, when I had just started working, I think, and that is over 18 years ago, I used to stay very close to a salon. And the young lady who owned this salon, I had gone to school with her in secondary. And when she finished, I think, high school, she didn't join the university. She just decided to go to a fashion school where she learned all these things of beauty, makeup and the like. But she also told me that their mom used to teach them to plait their hair and the like. So they used to do this by themselves. And she became so good at it that the day she got an opportunity to leave this country and went and now lives in UK, also sometimes lives in the US, she commands high prices for what she does with women's hair. She plaits hair, and she's really good at it. Now, for those of you who've traveled, or ask the ladies around, people who plait hair abroad, how much money they charge per head. I mean, I'm not going to talk about any figures because I might say some figures that I've had and you might think in Ugandan currency that that's ridiculous. No one can charge that amount of money. But trust me, people can charge that amount of money, okay? And coming back to a point here, what I'm trying to raise is you could be there as a parent and you're thinking, my child should be a doctor, my child should be a lawyer, my child is going to be a managing director of a company and the like, and that is absolutely fine. But as your child is growing, look into all these vocations where we have plenty of these. Give them a chance to go to these vocations, because chances are these vocations are going to help them develop and discover a lot of talents that they have. Secondly, they are going to teach them certain skills that you would not have passed on to them yourself. Third, they are going to learn a few things about discipline, because when they are doing these vocations sit under certain defined disciplines. But more important, they are going to be exposed. Every time you get a chance to take your child to do something completely new, for them it's an experience. It's like when you take a young person and you show them nature, They look at colors. They look at all these creatures, the creepers, the sounds, everything is new. And it stimulates their thinking, their brains, and it gives them a lot of imagination. So it's always important. So when I talk about exposing our loved ones, our children, to vocations, look around. You don't even need to look so far. Look around. You'll find plenty of opportunities where they'll get opportunity to jump into these vocations, to start doing things, to get engaged, to put their hands to something. And that is going to do something in them. It's going to create a cycle in them, you know, something, and it will help them. And even if it's something like getting someone where you really have complete trust, someone who is working in the street food industry where they're doing Rolexes and they're doing chapatis and they're doing chicken roasting and the like, take your child there. If these people can give them an opportunity to work with them, they can put them to work, they can engage them, do it. Okay? And at the end of the day, your child will not be the same. They'll continue with their studies, of course. They'll continue with their academics. But they'll pick certain disciplines, and that will completely change their perspective on a lot of things. So I hope you can do that. It's a very simple, practical action that you can pick, but it has immense benefits for your child. And if the thought is good and you feel it's really worth it, please share it with your peer parent, and let's see where we take our young people. Thanks for watching. See you next time.